The cold wind cut through the empty streets as Ryan walked along with his son, Leo. They carried a thin blanket wrapped around both of them, trying to keep warm. In Ryan's hand was a small paper bag with a few pieces of bread. They had been homeless for months now, sleeping under the bridge near the park. Life had been hard since Ryan lost his job at the factory. He had searched everywhere, but no one wanted to hire a man with no home and no proper clothes. Leo looked up at his father with tired eyes. He was only 8, but he had learned to be quiet when his father was worried. Ryan always tried to smile, even when there was no reason to be happy. He wanted Leo to feel safe, to know that they would be all right no matter what. "Dad, will we have a home again?" Leo asked softly. Ryan knelt down and brushed the boy's hair with his fingers. "Of course we will, son. You just have to trust me." Leo nodded and tried to smile. He believed his father more than anyone else in the world. Ryan had only $110 left. It was the last bit of money he had saved, hidden carefully in his shoe. He had planned to buy food and maybe a cheap coat for Leo. But that morning, while walking past an old electronics shop, Ryan noticed something unusual in the window. Inside the shop, behind a cracked glass display, was a small drone. The sign said used, $110. It looked old and broken, but something about it caught Ryan's attention. He did not know why, but his heart told him that he needed to buy it. He paused and looked at the shop owner, a man with gray hair. "You like that drone?" the man asked. "It does not even fly anymore. I just want it gone." Ryan forced a smile. "I am just looking," he said politely. The man shrugged. "If you want it, you can take it for $100. "I don't care if it works or not." Ryan's heart pounded. Spending his last money on a broken drone seemed crazy. But he had a strange feeling that this could be important. That night, Ryan sat beside Leo under the bridge. Leo was already asleep, clutching a small stuffed toy. Ryan stared at the old drone in his hands. He whispered to himself, "Trust me, son. Just trust me." The words gave him courage. He decided to follow his instinct. The next morning, he returned to the shop. The man was surprised. "You really want it?" Ryan nodded and handed him the money. "Yes, I will take it." The man wrapped the drone in old newspaper. "I do not know if it will even turn on, but maybe you can use the parts," he said. Ryan thanked him and left. On the way back, he thought about how strange life could be. He had no home, no job, and almost no money, yet he felt a spark of hope. When he returned to the park, Leo was awake, sitting on the grass. "Dad, what is that?" the boy asked, his eyes wide with curiosity. Ryan placed the drone on the ground. "It is a drone, son. We are going to try to fix it." Leo tilted his head. "But what about food?" Ryan smiled and ruffled his hair. "Sometimes we have to take a risk. I think this might help us, son. Trust me." Over the next few days, Ryan worked carefully on the drone. He cleaned it, repaired the wires, and even used a broken phone battery to power it. Leo watched every move, fascinated by his father's determination. For hours, nothing happened, and Ryan started to doubt himself. But he did not give up. One night, while Leo was asleep, Ryan pressed a small hidden button under the drone's body. A soft blue light blinked on, and a quiet voice came from the small speaker. "System rebooting. Classified unit activated." Ryan froze. He had never seen anything like it. The drone hovered slightly in the air before landing gently back on the ground. Strange codes and numbers were printed on its side. Ryan realized this was not an ordinary drone. The next morning, he showed it to Leo. "Son, look, I think this drone is special. Maybe it belongs to someone important." Leo's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Can it fly again?" Ryan nodded. "Yes, it can. But we need to be careful. This is not just a toy." They spent the day learning how the drone worked. Ryan discovered that it responded to his voice, moving forward and backward, turning left and right when he spoke commands. It also had a small hidden compartment that Ryan had not noticed before. Inside was a small card with a map and a red dot marking a location outside the city. Alongside the map were words, "Retrieve unit." Reward authorized. Ryan's mind raced. Could this be a military drone? What kind of reward did it mean? He looked at Leo and thought about their life under the bridge. Maybe this was the chance they needed. That night, Ryan packed their few belongings into a small bag and placed the drone carefully inside. He looked at Leo, who was curious but trusted his father completely. "Son, we are going on a journey." Ryan said, "Where to, Dad?" Leo asked. "To a place that might change everything," Ryan replied. The streets were quiet as they walked, the drone glowing softly in Ryan's hands. He did not know what lay ahead, but for the first time in months, he felt hope. He glanced down at Leo and whispered, "Trust me, son. Just trust me." They walked through the dark streets, guided by the map projected from the drone. Ryan felt nervous but determined. He knew this was their chance to escape the life they had been living. Leo held his hand tightly, and Ryan felt a surge of courage as they reached the edge of the city. The red dot on the drone's map began to pulse faster. Ryan realized they were close to something important. He did not know if it was danger or opportunity, but he knew they had no choice but to continue. Leo yawned and leaned against his father. "Are we going to be safe, Dad?" Ryan smiled. "We will be safe. I promise you. Just trust me." The drone's light guided them to an abandoned warehouse. It was surrounded by old fences and rusted gates. Ryan looked at the map again and noticed a small entrance marked with a symbol. The drone hovered near the gate, as if urging them forward. Ryan took a deep breath and opened the gate. The sound of rust echoed in the empty yard. Leo clung to his father's hand, but he did not cry. He trusted Ryan completely. Inside the warehouse, the drone flew ahead and projected a holographic screen. Images of military personnel, drones, and equipment appeared. Ryan could hardly believe what he saw. This was not just an old drone. It was part of something very important. Ryan looked at Leo and whispered, "Son, this is our chance. We can change our lives." Leo nodded slowly, his small face filled with hope. Ryan felt a surge of determination. They had nothing to lose, and maybe everything to gain. As the night continued, Ryan and Leo explored the warehouse, guided by the drone. Ryan realized that the small investment of $110 had led them to an opportunity that could change everything. For the first time in months, Ryan smiled without worry. He looked at Leo and said again, "Trust me, son. Just trust me." Leo smiled back, holding his father's hand tightly. Together, they faced the unknown, ready for whatever lay ahead. The drone hovered silently, glowing softly, as if promising that this was only the beginning of their journey. The warehouse was quiet except for the soft hum of the drone's motors. Ryan held Leo's hand tightly as they stepped further inside. Broken crates and rusted machinery filled the space, and the smell of old metal hung in the air. The holographic screen projected by the drone showed images of a large facility with many drones and machines Ryan had never seen before. He realized this was more than a forgotten military warehouse. This was a place where something powerful had been hidden. Leo's eyes were wide. "Dad, what is all this?" Ryan knelt beside him. "I don't know yet, son, but I think we found something very important. We need to be careful." The drone floated in front of them, its blue light casting soft shadows on the walls. Ryan reached out and touched the holographic screen. Numbers, codes, and locations flashed rapidly. A small symbol in the corner caught his attention. It looked like a key, and beneath it were instructions. "Unlock the path to unit retrieval. Proceed carefully." Ryan's heart raced. Could this be a way to get the reward mentioned on the map? He looked down at Leo, who was fidgeting nervously. "We have to follow it, son. This might be our chance to change everything." Leo nodded, trusting his father completely. "Okay, Dad, I trust you." Ryan took a deep breath and began studying the instructions. The drone's hologram displayed coordinates outside the city. Ryan realized they would need transportation. They could not walk far with Leo and all their belongings. He looked around the warehouse and noticed an old van parked in the corner, covered in dust and cobwebs. The keys were still in the ignition. "This might be our ride, Leo," Ryan said. They climbed into the van. Ryan turned the key, and to his surprise, the engine roared to life. The vehicle moved smoothly, as if it had been waiting for them. The drone hovered near the dashboard, projecting the route onto the windshield. Ryan followed the map carefully, turning onto quiet streets and then leaving the city behind. As they drove, Ryan kept glancing at the drone. "It seems like this drone knows where to go," he said. "It is leading us to something very important." Leo leaned against the seat. "Do you think we will get the reward, Dad?" Ryan smiled. "We might, son, but we have to be patient. Things like this do not happen quickly. We have to stay focused." The van drove along an empty road surrounded by fields. The sun was rising, casting golden light over the landscape. Ryan felt a strange sense of hope. For the first time in months, he felt like they were moving toward a better future. After a few hours, the drone indicated a turn onto a narrow path that led into a forest. The van moved carefully, avoiding fallen branches and rocks. Ryan glanced at the map again and realized they were approaching the location marked by the red dot. The path ended at a large clearing with an abandoned building. The structure looked old, but the walls were sturdy. Ryan parked the van at the edge of the clearing. The drone hovered above, projecting a detailed blueprint of the building. "This is it, Leo," Ryan said. "The place the drone wants us to reach." Leo looked nervous. "It looks kind of scary, Dad." Ryan knelt beside him. "I know it does, but we have each other. We can do this together. Remember, trust me." They stepped out of the van, and the drone led them toward a small entrance at the back of the building. The door was locked, but a panel on the wall lit up when the drone hovered near it. Blue light scanned the panel, and with a quiet click, the door opened inside. The building was dimly lit. Crates and machinery were stacked neatly, unlike the chaotic warehouse they had first visited. Ryan and Leo moved cautiously, following the drone's path. The air felt different here, cleaner and colder. The drone led them to a large room at the center of the building. Inside, several drones were stored on shelves, each looking more advanced than the one Ryan had found. A terminal with a screen and a keyboard sat in the middle of the room. The holographic map projected by their drone pointed to the terminal. Ryan approached it carefully. "It seems like we need to use this to unlock the unit and claim the reward," he said. Leo watched closely. "How do we do it, Dad?" Ryan examined the terminal. The screen displayed a code prompt. He realized the codes on their drone might be the key. Carefully, he entered the sequence. Following the numbers and letters printed on the side of the drone, the screen blinked, and a door on the far side of the room opened. Behind it was a smaller chamber filled with glowing equipment. Ryan could hardly believe his eyes. Inside were several advanced drones, each worth a fortune. The holographic screen projected an amount that made Ryan's heart skip a beat. Millions of dollars. Leo's eyes widened. "Dad, are those really worth that much?" Ryan nodded slowly. "Yes, son, but we have to be careful. We cannot take them recklessly. We need to do this the right way." The drone floated ahead, leading them to the center of the chamber. A small device projected instructions. It explained that the drones were part of a prototype program and had been abandoned. Due to a funding issue, anyone who returned them safely to the original base would receive a reward. Ryan realized that this was exactly what the map had promised. "Leo, it seems we can really change our lives if we do this properly. We just have to follow the instructions and be careful." Leo nodded. "I trust you, Dad." Ryan smiled. "Thank you, son. That means a lot." They spent the next few hours carefully moving the drones and checking the equipment. The drones seemed to respond to Ryan, helping guide them without touching anything. Ryan realized the device was not only advanced but intelligent. It seemed to know the safest path for them by the afternoon. They had secured everything and prepared to leave. Ryan looked at Leo. "We did it, son. Now we just need to get these back safely." Leo grinned. "Are we going to get the reward now?" Ryan nodded. "We will, but only if we follow the instructions exactly. We cannot rush or make mistakes." They left the building with the drones carefully packed in the van. The drone led the way, guiding them back through the forest and onto the main road. Ryan felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. They were closer to a new life than ever before, but he knew they had to stay alert as they drove. Ryan thought about how far they had come. From the cold streets and empty bridges to this moment, everything had changed because of one decision: buying the old drone. He looked at Leo, who was quietly watching the scenery. "Remember, son, one choice can change everything," Ryan said softly. Leo smiled. "I remember, Dad. I trust you." The drone hovered near the dashboard, projecting the next part of the map. It seemed almost alive, guiding them as if it understood the importance of their mission. Ryan felt a surge of hope. This was no longer just a dream. It was becoming reality. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with orange and pink hues, Ryan knew they had a long journey ahead. But he also knew that with Leo by his side and the drone to guide them, they had a chance to leave their past behind for the first time in months. Ryan felt a sense of certainty. He looked at Leo and whispered again, "Trust me, son. Just trust me." Leo squeezed his hand and nodded. Together, they were ready for the next step in a journey that could change their lives forever. The drone glowed softly, as if promising that their adventure had only just begun. Ryan drove the van carefully, keeping an eye on the road and the glowing drone hovering above the dashboard. The sun had disappeared behind the horizon, leaving only a faint light in the sky. Leo leaned against the seat, sleepy but still alert, watching the glowing device with wonder. The journey so far had been full of surprises, and Ryan knew it was far from over. The drone projected the next part of the map, showing a route through winding roads and small towns. Ryan realized they were moving toward the city where the original base was located. According to the instructions, they could not go directly. They had to follow a precise path to avoid detection. The drone seemed to understand every turn, guiding them as if it were alive. "Dad, are we almost there?" Leo asked quietly. Ryan glanced at him and smiled. "Not yet, son, but we are getting closer. We have to be careful, though. There might be people who do not want us to succeed." Leo nodded, trusting his father completely. He had learned that Ryan always knew the right thing to do, even when it seemed risky. The van moved along the empty roads, passing farms and small houses. Ryan noticed the roads becoming narrower and the trees growing taller on both sides. The drone's light illuminated the path ahead, creating strange shadows on the ground. Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. Something about this place felt different, almost like they were entering an area that was protected. Suddenly, the drone's sensors blinked rapidly, and a warning message appeared on the holographic screen. "Obstacle ahead. Proceed with caution." Ryan slowed the van and squinted into the darkness. A fallen tree blocked the road, and beyond it, the path was too narrow to drive through safely. He looked at Leo. "Stay here, son. I will figure this out." Leo nodded, gripping the seat. He knew his father could handle anything. Ryan got out and examined the tree. It was heavy and large, too big to move alone. He needed another solution. He looked at the drone hovering above and remembered a small compartment under the dashboard containing tools. He grabbed a rope and a metal hook, hoping he could find a way to lift or drag the tree enough to pass while he worked. The drone hovered low, its lights guiding him. Ryan attached the rope to the hook and tried to pull the tree, but it barely moved. He realized he needed more help or another plan. Then he noticed a narrow path along the side of the road. It was barely wide enough for the van, but it might work. He climbed back into the van and carefully steered toward the path. The branches scraped the sides, and the van shook with every bump. Leo held his breath but stayed quiet. The drone projected a blue line on the ground, showing the safest way to move. Ryan followed it precisely, his hands gripping the wheel tightly. After several tense minutes, they emerged onto a clear road. Ryan let out a sigh of relief. "We made it, son." "That was close." Leo smiled. "The drone helped us, Dad." Ryan nodded. "Yes, it did. It seems like it knows more than we do. We just have to listen to it." As they continued, Ryan noticed movement in the distance. A pair of headlights appeared on the road ahead. Someone was coming toward them. He slowed the van and watched carefully. The vehicle grew closer, and he realized it was a police car. Ryan's heart raced. He had no registration for the van and no explanation for why they were carrying valuable drones. He could not afford to be stopped. He glanced at the drone, which projected a faint path into the nearby forest. Ryan understood immediately. They needed to take a detour. He turned sharply onto the forest path. The van bounced over roots and rocks, and branches scraped the windows. Leo held on tightly but did not complain. The drone hovered ahead, guiding them like a small guardian. After a few minutes, the forest path led them back to a small dirt road. Ryan looked at Leo and smiled. "We are safe now." The drone knew exactly where to go. Leo's eyes were wide with excitement. "This is like an adventure, Dad," Ryan chuckled. "Yes, son, an adventure we cannot turn back from." They drove on, and the dirt road eventually merged with a larger highway. Ryan noticed signs pointing toward a remote military base. According to the holographic map, this was their final destination. The base looked abandoned from the outside, surrounded by fences and gates, but Ryan knew better. The drone's instructions had been clear. They had to enter carefully. They parked the van a short distance away and followed the drone on foot. It hovered ahead, scanning the perimeter. Ryan noticed cameras and sensors along the fence. They could not trigger any alarms. He whispered to Leo, "Stay close to me. We have to be very quiet." Leo nodded, gripping his father's hand. Together, they moved silently along the fence. The drone projected a path onto the ground, showing gaps between the cameras. Ryan followed the guide, carefully avoiding detection. After several tense minutes, they reached a small gate at the back of the base. The drone hovered near the lock, and a soft sound indicated that the door was now open. Ryan pushed it gently, and they slipped inside. The interior of the base was dimly lit. Old machines and equipment lined the walls, and the air smelled of metal and oil. Ryan followed the drone as it led them to a large storage room. Inside, the advanced drones from the warehouse were already prepared. A small terminal displayed instructions to return the units to a secure location inside the base. Ryan realized they had made it this far, but the final task remained. They needed to place the drones correctly without triggering any security measures. He knelt and began following the holographic instructions, carefully placing each drone on the designated platforms. Leo watched, fascinated. "Dad, this is amazing. Look at them," Ryan smiled. "Yes, son, but we have to finish this first. We cannot celebrate yet." The drone hovered beside him, guiding each step. Ryan felt a sense of awe. The technology was far beyond anything he had seen before. Each drone had a unique design, and the platforms seemed to read the units as if they were alive. After placing the last drone, a soft chime sounded. The terminal displayed a message: "All units secured. Reward authorized. Please wait for verification." Ryan's heart leapt. They had done it. The drones were safely returned, and the reward was about to be confirmed. He looked at Leo, who was smiling widely. "We did it, Dad," Leo whispered. Ryan knelt and hugged him tightly. "Yes, son, we did it. I told you. Trust me." And it worked. The drone hovered above them, projecting a final hologram. A figure appeared, showing a representative from the organization that owned the drones. The figure spoke kindly, explaining that Ryan and Leo's careful actions had ensured the security of the units. The reward would be transferred, and they would be provided with housing and support to start a new life. Ryan felt tears welling in his eyes. After months of struggle, cold nights, and uncertainty, their lives were about to change forever. He looked at Leo, whose eyes were filled with wonder and joy. "Son, everything is going to be different now," Ryan said softly. Leo smiled. "I know, Dad. I trusted you, and it worked." Ryan laughed softly, hugging him again. "Yes, it worked because we trusted each other and never gave up." The drone hovered above, its lights glowing softly as if celebrating with them. Ryan realized that the small decision to spend the last $110 had led them to this incredible moment. It had not been luck. It had been courage, trust, and persistence. As they prepared to leave the base, Ryan felt a sense of peace he had not known in a long time. The road ahead was still new, but he knew they were ready. With the drone guiding them and their determination, they could face anything together. That night, under the stars, Ryan looked at Leo and whispered once more, "Trust me, son. Just trust me." Leo squeezed his father's hand and smiled. They had survived the cold streets, the forests, and the challenges of the base. Now, their journey was about to begin in a life filled with hope, opportunity, and adventure. The night was calm as Ryan and Leo walked away from the military base, the drone hovering quietly beside them. For the first time in months, Ryan felt relief and hope. Their journey from the cold streets and empty bridges to this moment had been long and full of challenges, but it was finally over. The reward had been confirmed, and a team would meet them the next day to guide them to their new home and resources. Leo looked up at his father. "Dad, do you think our life will really change?" Ryan smiled. "Yes, son, it will change. But remember, we need to work hard and stay together. That is how we make this new life last." Leo nodded. He had learned to trust his father completely, and he was ready for the adventure ahead. They returned to the van, which had been waiting for them outside the forest. The drone hovered ahead, lighting the way as they drove back to the city. Ryan kept the van steady, his mind filled with possibilities. They would have a home, food, and stability. He could finally provide the life Leo deserved. The next morning, a team of officials arrived at their temporary location. They were kind and professional, explaining the support they would provide. Ryan and Leo would be given a small apartment, educational support for Leo, and financial assistance while Ryan found work. The reward for returning the drones safely would ensure their future. Ryan could hardly believe it. For months, he had struggled to find work, to keep his son safe, and to survive each day. Now, a small decision, a simple act of trust had changed everything. The officials guided them to a small, clean apartment. It had 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a living area. The walls were painted a soft cream color, and the windows let in plenty of light. Leo ran from room to room, exploring every corner with delight. "Dad, look, we have a kitchen and a bedroom for me," he exclaimed. Ryan laughed, feeling a weight lift off his shoulders. "Yes, son, this is our home now, a place where we can rest, study, and live without fear." After settling in, Ryan called the drone's interface to check its system. The drone had become more than a guide. It was now their friend and companion. It hovered around the apartment, scanning each room, as if ensuring everything was safe. Leo followed it with fascination. "Dad, do you think the drone will stay with us?" Ryan smiled. "I think so, son. It helped us when we needed it most. I believe it wants to stay with us too." The days passed quickly. Ryan applied for jobs, and the reward money allowed him to purchase basic supplies and furniture. Leo started school, excited to make new friends and learn. For the first time, they felt stability and safety. One afternoon, Ryan sat with Leo at the small dining table, helping him with homework. Leo was learning math and reading faster than ever. Ryan realized that without the constant worry of survival, his son could focus and grow. "Dad, I think I want to be an inventor when I grow up," Leo said. "Just like you fixed the drone." Ryan's heart swelled with pride. "You can be anything, Leo. You have the ability to do whatever you dream. I will help you every step of the way." The drone hovered nearby, projecting small holograms of flying objects and simple circuits. It seemed to enjoy being part of their daily life. Ryan often joked that the drone was now part of the family. As the weeks passed, Ryan found a stable job at a small electronics company. His experience with repairing and understanding drones made him an ideal candidate for a technician role. The company was impressed with his knowledge and determination. He worked hard, learning quickly and earning respect from his colleagues. Leo thrived in school. He made friends, participated in sports, and even showed his teachers how he had helped his father with the drone. His confidence grew every day. One evening, Ryan and Leo sat on their apartment balcony, watching the city lights sparkle. The drone hovered beside them, its soft glow illuminating their faces. "Dad, I am happy we trusted the drone and came on this adventure," Leo said. Ryan nodded. "Me too, son. It taught us that sometimes we have to take risks and believe in ourselves. That is how we find new opportunities." Leo leaned against his father. "I feel safe now. I feel like we finally belong somewhere," Ryan smiled. We do, son. We have each other, and we have a home. That is all that matters. The drone projected a small map on the balcony floor, showing potential areas for Ryan to explore at work, and places Leo could visit for school activities. Ryan realized that the technology they had discovered could now help them build a bright future, not just survive. Months passed, and their lives became full of routines and small joys. Ryan learned new skills, fixed gadgets, and even started a small hobby project with the drone. He documented its abilities and considered how this technology could help others. Leo grew more confident. He spoke to his classmates about science and machines, sharing his experiences. He had a natural curiosity that grew stronger with each day, and Ryan encouraged it. One weekend, Ryan decided to take Leo to a nearby park. The boy ran ahead, laughing freely, while the drone hovered above, keeping watch. Ryan watched him, feeling proud of how far they had come. This is the life we dreamed of, Leo. Ryan said softly. We have a future now. We have hope. Leo ran back to him, holding a small flower he had picked. Dad, this is for you. Thank you for trusting the drone and me. Ryan took the flower and smiled. Thank you, son. It is the best gift I could ever have. The drone hovered beside them, its light soft and comforting. It had been their guide, protector, and friend. Ryan realized that sometimes the smallest acts of trust and courage could change everything. That night, as they returned home, Ryan looked at the sky. The stars shone brightly, and he felt a sense of calm. The struggles of the past seemed far away, replaced by the promise of a better future. He turned to Leo, who was sleepy but happy. Remember, son, no matter what happens, trust yourself and trust the people who care for you. That is how life works. Leo yawned and nodded. I remember, Dad, I trust you. Ryan held him close, feeling a sense of fulfillment he had never felt before. Their journey had started with hardship and uncertainty, but it had led them to a place of hope, stability, and opportunity. The drone hovered beside them one last time that night, its light gentle and steady. Ryan realized it had become a symbol of their journey, a reminder of how courage, trust, and persistence could transform lives. As he watched Leo fall asleep, Ryan whispered softly, Trust me, son. Just trust me. This time, the words were not just a promise. They were a reflection of everything they had achieved and the life they were about to live. The future was bright, full of promise, and for the first time, Ryan knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they could face them together. With Leo, their new home, and their loyal companion, the drone, life had finally begun. The morning sun poured golden light into their small apartment, casting warm shadows across the walls. Ryan sipped his coffee while watching Leo eat breakfast. The boys' laughter filled the kitchen, a sound Ryan had longed to hear for months. Their lives had changed in ways he could hardly believe. From the cold streets and broken nights to this moment of hope and stability, everything seemed new. The drone hovered gently in the corner, projecting a soft light. It had become part of their family, helping Leo with homework, exploring new ideas, and even assisting Ryan with his small projects. The advanced technology had given them opportunities, but it had also become a source of joy. Ryan thought about how a simple act of trust had brought them here. Spending the last $110 on an old drone had seemed reckless at the time. Now, it was the moment that transformed their lives. After breakfast, Ryan prepared for work. His job at the electronics company had grown steadily. His skills with drones and technology were being recognized, and he was given a chance to lead a small research project. The company wanted to develop educational drones for schools, and Ryan's experience made him the perfect candidate. Leo packed his bag for school, excitement in his eyes. He had made new friends and loved learning. Ryan felt proud of his son. Remember, son, always be curious and never stop learning, he said. Leo smiled. I will, Dad. I want to invent things and help people just like you. Ryan nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride. And I will be right here to guide you. As they walked out of the apartment, the drone hovered above, leading the way to school and work. Ryan noticed how peaceful the streets felt. No longer did he have to worry about finding food or shelter. The city seemed brighter, full of opportunity and life. During lunch, Ryan reflected on their journey. The memories of cold nights under the bridge and long walks with an empty stomach seemed distant now. Those struggles had taught him resilience, patience, and the importance of trusting instincts. He looked at the drone beside him and smiled. It had been more than a machine. It had been a guide, a friend, and a symbol of hope. At the electronics company, Ryan worked diligently. His research team was small but dedicated. They were developing drones that could help children learn science and technology. Ryan felt a sense of fulfillment he had never known before. Every prototype they built reminded him of the old drone that had changed his life. Meanwhile, Leo thrived at school. He participated in science fairs, presenting small experiments and mechanical projects inspired by their adventure. His teachers were amazed at his curiosity and intelligence. Ryan often helped him after work, guiding his ideas and encouraging him to explore further. One afternoon, as they returned home, Ryan noticed a letter waiting at the door. It was from the organization that had rewarded them for returning the drones. Inside was a certificate of appreciation and a small scholarship fund for Leo's education. It was a gesture that meant more than money. It was recognition of their courage and honesty. Leo ran into the apartment, holding the letter. "Dad, look, they believe in me." Ryan hugged him tightly. "Yes, son. They believe in you because you and I made the right choices. Honesty and courage always matter." The drone hovered above, projecting a hologram of the certificate. Leo clapped his hands. "The drone is celebrating too, Dad." Ryan laughed. "Yes, son. The drone has been with us through everything. It deserves a little celebration." As weeks turned into months, Ryan and Leo settled into a routine of stability and growth. The van that had carried them on their journey was sold, replaced with a small car that Ryan could use for work and errands. Their apartment became a home filled with books, projects, and laughter. Ryan often reflected on the journey that had started with one choice. Spending the last $110 on a broken drone had seemed like a risk, but it had led them to opportunities beyond imagination. The drone had guided them through forests, obstacles, and unknown paths. It had shown them that courage, persistence, and trust could change lives. One evening, as the city lights twinkled in the distance, Ryan and Leo sat on their balcony. The drone hovered beside them, casting a gentle blue glow. "Dad, I'm so happy we found the drone," Leo said. "It changed everything for us." Ryan nodded. "Yes, son, but it also taught us something important. It was not just the drone. It was our trust, our courage, and our willingness to take a step forward that made this possible." Leo looked thoughtful. "I want to help people when I grow up, Dad. I want to make the world better." Ryan smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride. "And you will, son. You have everything it takes. I will always support you." The drone projected a small map showing areas for exploration and educational programs. Ryan realized that their adventure had not only given them a new life, but also opened doors to help others. He and Leo could now use their experiences to inspire and educate. In the following months, Ryan became known in his company for innovative solutions with drones. He helped design programs for schools, teaching children about technology and creativity. Leo's school projects gained recognition, and he became a symbol of curiosity and determination among his peers. The bond between father and son grew stronger each day. They had survived hardship, uncertainty, and danger together. Now, they thrived in a life filled with opportunity and love. One weekend, Ryan took Leo to a technology fair. The boy's eyes sparkled as he watched demonstrations of new drones, robots, and machines. Ryan held his hand and whispered, "Remember, son, it all started with trust and courage. Never forget that." Leo nodded, full of excitement. "I will, Dad. I want to explore everything and help people like you do." As they left the fair, the drone hovered beside them, scanning the surroundings. It had become their constant companion, a reminder of their journey and the life they had built. That night, Ryan and Leo sat together, looking at the stars. The city was quiet, and the glow from their apartment reflected the warmth they felt inside. Ryan thought about the past months and all they had overcome. "Dad, do you think other people can have adventures like ours?" Leo asked. Ryan smiled. "Yes, son. Everyone can have an adventure. Sometimes it starts with one small decision, a choice to trust, to try, and to never give up." Leo leaned against his father. "I'm glad I trusted you, Dad. I'm glad we found the drone." Ryan held him close. "Me too, son. It changed everything for us, and it can inspire others too." The drone hovered nearby, its soft light casting calm shadows. Ryan realized that their lives had transformed in every way: safety, opportunity, happiness, and hope. From the struggles of homelessness to a life filled with promise, their journey had been remarkable. Ryan looked down at Leo, who was now sleepy and content. "Trust me, son. Just trust me," he whispered once more. Leo smiled in his sleep, holding his father's hand tightly. Ryan knew that the words had grown beyond a simple promise. They had become a reflection of the journey they had shared, the lessons they had learned, and the life they had created. The city lights twinkled below. The drone hovered above, and the stars shone brightly in the sky. Ryan felt a sense of fulfillment and peace. They had faced uncertainty, embraced risk, and discovered a world of opportunity together. They had transformed their lives, and nothing could take that away. With trust, courage, and hope, Ryan and Leo were ready for every new adventure the future would bring.